Next on Worcester News tonight, more PawSox talk in Worcester. City councilors take a vote on supporting a possible move to Worcester. Plus, what drivers need to know about a new, stricter process for car inspections coming to Massachusetts this fall. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. We begin tonight with news we've been following throughout today. Authorities are investigating the death of a mixed martial arts fighter from Sutton. 26-year-old Rondell Clark was pronounced dead at a Boston hospital this morning. Clark went to Westboro High School, where he was a star football player. He also worked out at CrossFit Prototype in Westboro. Clark competed in a fight last weekend in Plymouth. The match was stopped 2 minutes into the third round. Clark was then hospitalized following a post-fight exam. The state medical examiner will determine the cause and manner of his death. Worcester City councilors overwhelmingly support a resolution asking the city manager to do what he can to attract the PawSox to the city. The minor league affiliate of the Boston Red Sox is looking at a possible move from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. As Arcan Jandro reports, while councilors are supportive now, they still have some concerns.
Council Rosen?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes.
Worcester Mayor Joe Petty's resolution supporting a possible PawSox move to the city passes by a wide margin. The resolution requests City Manager Edward Augustus to do all in his power to facilitate the team's move to Worcester. And although it's early, Augustus is excited moving forward.
Well, I think it's a long process, and there's a lot of moving parts, and a lot of which are not in our control. But I think we have an amazing story to tell as a city about what's going on here.
The resolution passed just days after Augustus sent a letter to Pawtucket Red Sox owner Larry Lucchino with 179 signatures from local politicians, business leaders, and community members. Petty says after seeing the support from the community, it was time to bring the topic to the city council.
I thought this was important for the council because we are the deciding body. Along with state government, it's going to be a big cooperative effort, and if we're going to get this done. So it's important that at least have a sense where the council stands on this.
Councilors Christian King and George Russell voted in favor of the resolution, but say they do have concerns if the relationship between Worcester and the PawSox intensifies. The big issue? Who would pay for a new stadium, and how much would it cost?
I have some major concerns, however, if they are going to be looking for the same kind of money from the city of Worcester that they were getting from the state of Rhode Island or the city of Pawtucket, which was somewhere around $40 million.
We have a duty to ensure that those funds and that taxpayers' monies are used in a responsible manner.
Now, City Councilor Constantina Lukes was the only one to vote no on the mayor's resolution. She says she does support the team coming to Worcester only if public financing was minimal. Catherine?
All right, Cam, thank you for that. 24 New York City children arrived in Northborough today for a chance to spend time with host families in Central Mass through a special program. The Fresh Air Fund Committee welcomed 26 children today. The organization matches host families and kids and provides opportunities for any inner-city children to visit communities and enjoy the outdoors. Many families welcome the same children for several years in a row. Northborough's Tara Ford says their family has been hosting for years, and they're excited to welcome back host student Ariana for the 6th year in a row. She says their family enjoys spending time outdoors and giving visitors a chance to experience Central Massachusetts.
It's exposure for the child from New York City to see something different and to get outside and be able to experience different outdoor activities that they would not be able to experience in the city, whether it's we live on water, so whether it's boating or tubing or water skiing or even hiking a mountain, that she doesn't get those opportunities.
The Fresh Air Fund is a nonprofit organization providing free summer experiences to more than 1.8 million New York City children. Since 1877, each summer, families welcome children to Central Mass for 1 or 2 weeks to enjoy outdoor activities. A World War II monument honoring both African Americans and Native Americans who served in the war has been missing for nearly 6 decades. Now members of the community are working on replacing it, and some are worried veterans' names will be left out. Rosalind Flaherty reports.
Community activist Bill Coleman has spent decades trying to locate the colored citizens of Worcester Honor Roll. The World War II monument, built in 1943, was taken down years later for the construction of Interstate 290. it was never found.
In 1976, I'm working in Washington for U.S. Senator Ed Brooke at the time, and he sent me up here as an aide to meet with the city manager. He said he'd look into it and get back to it. But this city manager at Augustus said, we're redoing all the other monuments. Let's do this one.
The honor roll lists 145 names of men and women of color from Worcester who served in World War II through 1943. Coleman says the Central Massachusetts AFL-CIO raised $15,000 to construct a replica. It will be placed in Lincoln Square.
It means the world to those who have relatives that are on here, to those who remember. We still have a lot of people in the community who remember.
But Thomas Doughton says he is not satisfied. His uncle will be on the new monument, but another uncle will not because he enlisted after 1943. He does not want to just reproduce the original honor roll, saying there are dozens of names missing.
Those names represent several of the largest, most interconnected families of people of color in Worcester at that time, so that many families have family members who are missing.
Doughton also has concerns about the location of the honor roll. Coleman says the new one has already been finished and markers are already in the ground.
This is the most ideal location to be closest to where you can get the most visibility, because we want this thing to be showcased for the community and for the country.
Coleman says he supports the idea of adding another honor roll.
We have enough room here to put up another honor roll. So let's raise the funds. This is important to go ahead and finish the mission we started. And if we want to add another one, we can do that.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The New England Holocaust Memorial in Boston is vandalized for the second time since June. And tonight we're hearing from the architect behind the memorial. Eli Rosenberg has the story.
The shards of glass of another act of vandalism, and a memorial of flowers and rocks growing by the hour.
I just don't know why someone would do that.
Ansley Washburn from Brookline coming down to see the damage for herself. She wasn't alone. A constant flow of people, many with the same question.
I just didn't know what could bring someone to do something like that. I don't know what this innocent people could have done.
This Holocaust memorial was vandalized Monday night. The 17-year-old suspect immediately tackled by witnesses and held until police arrived. Late this afternoon, the mayor reacting.
That there is no place for hate in Boston. As Bostonians, we stand together in solidarity with our diverse community and our diverse nation.
In June, another panel on the other end of the memorial was vandalized. The suspect there also throwing a rock. That, the first incident of vandalism since the memorial opened in 1995.
It's sad. I think it's very, very sad that there are people who still do that and don't believe in the good of the people.
And this teen, who is not being named because he is a juvenile, was in court today, the judge ordering a mental evaluation. He was then released on his own recognizance. The big question out here remains, what was the motive behind this vandalism? Reporting in downtown Boston, Eli Rosenberg, Worcester News Tonight.
In Auburn, police are investigating an ATV crash, sending one person to the hospital. The crash happened around noon Tuesday on Water Street. Police say the 48-year-old driver suffered a minor head injury, but was conscious when police arrived on scene. Police say it is illegal to operate ATVs on town streets. The driver is expected to be okay. New regulations starting in October will require all auto shops to install live cameras to record all car inspections. One Worcester business says this could mean drivers will need to swap out old license plates, as well as stricter inspections by auto shops. Brittany Schaefer has the details.
I feel proud that I still got it. I want it.
James Entwistle has had his green license plate for more than 30 years. But starting October 1st, this could change.
When the new process comes, there'll be 3 cameras aimed at the car. There'll be a handheld camera that we're going to take a picture of the front and rear license plate, the odometer, and the VIN number.
The state's new inspection process will require auto shops to install multiple live cameras. With stricter rules, older plates with worn out or missing reflectors will not pass.
The plates themselves are a big problem right now. Half of them have been failing.
The majority of those plates, the vintage green Massachusetts plates, which were last printed 30 years ago.
Most of them are in my age, in their 50s, and have had them since high school. And if, they know the number, they've had it for a long time. They just don't want to give it up.
I know it by heart.
Another plus with the green plate is the state doesn't require a front license plate.
I have where I live, Kings Point in Florida, where I go there 6 months a year. I want a plate that I like on the front instead of an ugly plate on the front.
And Twistle's inspection sticker runs out in October when the new process begins, and he's not looking forward to new plates.
If you have a green plate and it's worn, chances are you're not going to get a sticker.
Awful. I want my single plate in the rear. Don't go with double red plates. We don't need them.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester.